recipes for technical trading success in Cook's Kitchen.
Get ready to have your artificial intelligence blown away, because today we're not going to talk about the cloud or data centers. We're going to talk about shoeboxes and sugar cubes. I'll explain in a moment. Microsoft reported earnings last night, blew away the street on their strong cloud results. Stock is up 6% today. I love it. You may remember I recommended it back in June when I talked about big economic disruption. I was talking about big data, artificial intelligence, robotics, the future of automation, and that Microsoft would be at the forefront over the long term. I wasn't making a trade on Microsoft. I said you want to own Microsoft for the long term because they're going to be a lead innovator in big data, artificial intelligence, automation, etc. But I did a little more research, and I was surprised after I looked into it, just searching around on their blog, what I found. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First, let's talk about big data. Here's the challenge. IoT, the Internet of Things. It's creating too much data. Well, not too much. It's just creating a lot. So 5 years from now, the Internet of Things will create 50 trillion gigabytes of data per year. What are we going to do with that data? Well, we've got to store it. Last year, I did a report on the Internet of Things, and Cisco is, obviously a visionary company here, concerned with storing this data. And they made projections about, there's going to be 50 billion devices connected to the Internet by 2020. But they probably weren't imagining the flood of video. They probably didn't even know, I don't even know if Snapchat was that popular then, but something like Snapchat or any of these mobile video and image products and services are creating tons and tons of data, as we talked about. All right, so here's the thing. Cloud storage is still silicon-based, and we're just talking about data centers that have all the conventional risks of data storage. Power outages can sometimes affect them. Data sometimes has to be remodeled or rebuilt. And I'm not sure the term that the software engineers use, but there are problems with our current form of data storage. So, did a little homework, and I came across this. On April 27th, a little company called Twist Bioscience sold something to Microsoft. What did they sell them? They sold them 10 million long nucleotides for DNA. For what? For encoding digital data. Okay, so Microsoft is up to something here, buying from a bioscience company DNA, a lot of DNA. What are they doing? Well, turns out Microsoft is working with the University of Washington, and this press release, or this is on their blog, and it was probably associated with a press release, came out on July 7th, less than 2 weeks ago. The researchers announced they set a record for DNA storage of data. And the gentleman in the blue or teal shirt there is a UW professor who leads this research. All right, so let's figure out exactly what they did. Synthetic DNA for digital data storage. They recorded an early milestone by putting 200 megabytes of data on DNA. And is this remarkable? Well, look at the size. Look at this photograph. That's the 200 megabytes of data at the end of that test tube. No bigger than a pencil point. It could fit on a pencil point. What did it include? It included digital versions of art, videos, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in more than 100 languages, and the top 100 books of the Project Gutenberg. Another way of thinking about this would be equal to over 600 smartphones, what could be stored on 600 smartphones. So a lot of data in a very small space using DNA. Incredible, right? So this is where shoeboxes and sugar cubes come in, because what the researchers are estimating is that once this technology develops, because they just proved, they stored this data and it is recoverable. The videos, the books, everything. What it means, that's that amount of data in that size, they translate it this way. They could fit the entire internet in a shoebox. So that reduces all data centers to a handful of sugar cubes too. All right. So that is the level of research. Here's what the Microsoft engineers say about data and DNA. Demand for data storage is growing exponentially, and the capacity of existing storage media is not keeping pace. It's making it hard for organizations to store a lot of data, such as hospitals, who generate a lot of data, and any companies with video. So it means information is being lost, and the problem will only worsen without a new solution. So this is what they're looking ahead to. Now, this solution is not commercially viable yet, but so this is the bleeding edge research, so to speak. All right, so what's so great about DNA? Well, it's amazingly dense, as you can see from that amazing experiment they just achieved, putting 200 megabytes in something the size of a pencil point, and it's very robust. So when you think about DNA, we know that it lasts for thousands of years. This is a quote from the Microsoft blog, and I'll show you that in a moment. We just recovered woolly mammoth DNA that's several thousand years old, after they went extinct. So this is the power of DNA. It's durable, it's dense, it's robust, it's flexible. They can work with it, and it maintains its integrity. All right. So no, really, how the heck are they doing this? So breaking it down, you just convert the bits and bytes, ones and O's, into the 4 nucleotide bases of DNA strands: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. So the company Twist Bioscience takes those letters, which are still in electronic form, and they put them into the molecules themselves. Karen Strauss is the lead researcher on this for Microsoft. She says it's essentially a test tube, and you can barely see what's in it. It looks like a little bit of salt was dried in the bottom. All right, here she is. She's the lead researcher at Microsoft. You should go on their blog. I'm sure you can just search this. And this little 2-minute video shows all the people involved. People from University of Washington, the researchers at Microsoft, and I'm not sure if they have anybody from Twist Bioscience, but this is just amazing technology here that they're working with, and trying to solve the problem of data storage. But if you think about it, this is where this could be the bleeding edge for artificial intelligence too. If you read George Gilder, he says his mind has been changed about silicon being the basis for artificial intelligence. It'll have to be DNA. And when you think about the storage capacity and the potential there, makes a lot of sense. Those are all my notes today. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Let me know, leave a comment below. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen.